I mean, right there, you heard it. You heard it from Ready Set. Zeta Division once again reigns supreme. Welcome back to the Brawl House. It's F. Dot and Teddy here, breaking down our final quarterfinal of the weekend. As we said before the jump, Zeta Division has been so incredibly impressive online, but AC Milan Qlash had the experience here at the big show. And so this is where you put the pedal to the metal and you take the test and see if Zeta Division can do it live.
Yeah, man, this is one of those situations where you have two teams that could not be more different from each other. You have Qlash that is known for so much, controlled aggression. On the other hand, Zeta is a much more calm team that is gonna play it very, very safe until they push forward. We got our bans coming through. Lola and Max are gonna be the bans here for AQM. We'll see Byron and Stu removed by Zeta Division. I think the bans make a lot of sense. Max is pretty much a must ban against Zeta, and a great sign of respect because AQM, they love Max. It's one of their best brawlers, but they know that Zeta, they are just the best on this brawler, and I think that is such a huge sign of respect.
I like the Byron ban as well. Byron's a character that usually kind of escapes bans right underneath that line, but Byron is basically a fallback strategy for a lot of these non-Eastern teams, right? Everybody goes to Byron. I don't really know what's going to happen here, but when you can fall back to Byron, you can go word. He's going to play mid. He's going to shoot some guys, going to heal some guys, and kind of do the right things. And so looking towards this next one, this is how a lot of people are feeling. AC Milan Qlash has been the go-to for a lot of these people at home as far as their predictions are concerned. Me personally, I've got my money on Zeta Division.
All right, we'll see who gets it right. We have our first game starting, I believe. Overlay should be getting up to date soon enough. And we have some interesting comps, to be honest. The surge on both sides. Sandy and Gene, more traditional, coming up. Side tempo pushing forward, but he doesn't quite manage to score. Guille goes for some nice damage, but is forced to open up their goal area, and that can be a bit problematic later on.
Tensai tried to dance around it, but wasn't able to get it done. And so, yeah, like you said, the composition's a little bit interesting. That's a good word for it here. At the end of the day, iChaos on the bell, very, very classic.
Oh, what a pass. What a beautiful play that was.
Smooth.
Man, that was quite something. Going for the TP pass again, and finally score that one up. Qlash take the early lead, and there's nothing more terrifying than facing Qlash inland on Brawl. This is quite a tough matchup early on for Zeta. A great stun from Gear. Surely that should be a goal, and we can hear Qlash heating up as they take game one.
And that is why you keep driving home the point that AC Milan Qlash are this team that's great on land. Well, why? Yes, one, acclimation to the setting. It's different to stand up. Shouts to YDE. It's different to stand up. It's different to be under stage lights. It's different to be here all around. Absolutely. But they're also making a ton of noise. There's also the intimidation factor. I don't think Zeta Division go get scared or anything like that. But maybe. Lenae's pretty big.
Man, this is literally what I was thinking about this matchup. I think that Zeta might even be the better team, but in a LAN environment like this, I think that AC Milan Qlash is just too intimidating. And they get loud, they get taunting, they celebrate after every single, almost every single kill they get. It's scary. It is scary, but game two is starting now. TPN from Tempo is able to pick up the kill onto Lena, and that's a huge opening, but gets slowed down rather quickly as Guy is able to control the situation for both the left and the mid side of the map.
Already a different style of play from Zeta Division, though. Watching the right laner just jump forward and go for that, it's a level of aggression we just didn't see in game number one. And so that might be the change that Zeta needs to stick to in order to make this one a contest, because I'll be honest, game one was a landslide, and it did not look great for what I consider to be one of, if not the best team here. That's where my predictions lied, folks. Zeta Division is the squad that I have going all the way, and AC Milan is making me go, Are you sure?
Well, we got a nice push there for
Nice
ZETA. The
job.
pull comes through, kill follows up, and ZETA are starting to regain some control. Bull is under the control of Qlash on the right side, and they're not planning on giving any space to ZETA to push forward. Interesting, once again, a TP backwards to stay alive, but that means, once again, a little bit less utility to work with in the future. We've seen those surge TPs can be so clutch in getting kills or getting in good positions. This is last TP pop.
Big play.
Kill follows up. This should be a potential goal, but a Chappie falls, and IKEA successfully defends this push off for now.
You know, I can't even call that a giant drop because I think the kills were staggered so much that we were going to see an offender spawn anyway, which is why we didn't see ZD go all the way in. Tensai falling down, giving the ball back to Chaos. We'll see ourselves re-centralized, scoreless after a minute and a half. And Chaos, Guille, Lana have the ball in their hands. 20 seconds now remaining. And honestly, the door is not open for either side.
All right, we have a push starting slowly for ZETA Division, building up, trying to go for control as soon as overtime kicks in, but they get punished for it. A miss pull from a Chappie as well, and they know they need to corner up that ball, calm things down, because everyone is slowly falling down here for ZETA Division, and they need to hold on to this overtime.
Tensai staying alive there was a big deal. It allowed his teammates to respawn and respond. If he goes down fast, AC Milan Qlash walk up the field and just walk it in. Now, Shitempo on the right-hand side, but a big kill opens the window. Another kill from Lana. And just like that, set number 1 done and dusted.
Man, Qlash looking good so far, but keep in mind, this is their best mode. They are known to be the maybe best team in the world for Brawl.
Sure.
And ZETA, this is one of their less comfortable modes, and that makes sense. You know, they're a bit more of a reserve team. They like to play it safe, play it in the long run, right? Very strategically, and Brawl can be so dynamic, so quick. But we are moving to Gem Grab next, Minecart Madness, and that is exactly what ZETA Division love.
Yeah, that is well into the 80 territory of percentage for them in the win column there. So, Brawl Ball, a distant memory already. ZETA Division are a team that, you know, because we keep showing the prowess of being an excitable team, like AC Milan Qlash, right? It's a big deal. You can get in the face of the opponent. And look, I'm the loud American. That's absolutely my style. But to give credit where credit is due, the Japanese team here from ZETA Division, that reservation, I mean, it's easier to bounce back from a loss like that. Okay, word, it is an L. Let's go get a W. No problem. Players like me, yeah, I get loud when I win. I get real quiet when I lose. And that is a different story here for ZETA Division. So heading off to Minecart Madness, my favorite map. Love to see players get hit by a minecart. We'll see if they can turn this one around and get it done.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect map for them, right? It is one of the toughest maps to play, very strategic game mode, and exactly in the play style that we expect to see from ZETA Division. So they have to try on this. I feel like where it gets real scary is if they drop this set to Qlash.
Yes.
Then suddenly I'm going to be there that, like, this was their chance. This absolutely was their chance. So they need to capitalize on this set starting right now. And honestly, I wouldn't leave a single game to Qlash. They need to start off with a win, because Qlash, they love their momentum. They roll on it and they just don't stop. You can't feed into it.
Completely agree. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Teddy. It's absolutely about hitting the ground running and getting it done. And so that's what we'll do. Mid lane here. The matchup is going to be Lana versus Tensai.
Man, 6 different brawlers is always something I love to see. Very different strategies on both sides so far. Gem lead is absolutely even as ZETA Division. They have a bit of cover due to that minecart popping.
So the crow here for a Chappie. This is something that Zeta Division really like to do. They like to play the Crow specifically on these gem grab modes, and he will go all the way in. He won't ever touch a gem, but he will go all the way in and find those executions. Important answer from Lana there on AC Milan Qlash's side. But Zeta Division now own the mid, and look at Chatampo here in the mech, just not even getting the kills, just providing a wall for Zeta Division to go to the shop and just get all the gems.
Yeah, so much control still for Zeta, and their gem count is building up. 7 in the bag. Now Qlash retrieves some control, and that wall is going to be huge there from IKEOS. Blocks a lot of axes and rotations, but it doesn't last for long as the minecart is there to destroy.
A lot of time left. Jumping forward, and Chatampo is here, hunting down Lana, able to get one, and the red team has the countdown. Beautiful wall by IKEOS to separate themselves. 10 seconds left. 2 players to play defense. There's the respawn, and that should be good.
Yeah,
and we're here
with a healing station. There is no chance, absolutely no chance. And this is exactly what I was talking about, right? We talked about what can make the difference, and that is picking up this game convincingly. It's one of their best modes, and Qlash, they're not nearly as comfortable on it, and this map is just particularly exactly what Zeta want. They got exactly the result they wanted as well.
Great play. The Pam play, I think, really made the difference there, which is funny because the Pam wasn't the one getting all the kills. It wasn't, but it was just the lockdown in the mid, able to really make sure things happened. Meg was really the suppressive force, and that was a big deal. But Zeta Division, I heard them in the set.
Yeah.
They made some noise, and that is a big deal. We keep driving home the fact this is more a reserve team. They were yelling, so they are very excited about that one.
They gotta be, right? They gotta be. The odds are so big. They are also the last hope of their region. And Chappie does eat up quite a bit of damage early on. Lana takes a bit of damage himself. He heals up due to the cactus being broken down. And he is already forced to pump a second gadget. It's a lot of utility gone early on to be low HP in that position. And they're going for the pinch. Yeah, they take Lana out as well. It's a lot of control for Zeta Division. And dude, we mentioned yesterday as well, one of the big factors for Zeta Division success was the tempo being on the other side of the map on the enemy spawn. He was there right now against Qlash.
Yep. Big plays happening out here, and again, a Choppy doing his job. Jumping in, getting a kill, dying. But this isn't bounty, it's gem grab, so it's all good. 8-1 as Tensai takes down Guille. And that should be 9-1. Ooh, not quite. This Crow goes down, and this is a big moment for AC Milan Qlash as they're able to take mid-control here.
Oh,
and
the
might turn
minecart hits.
The entire game around.
The minecart hits, and it hits hard. A quick kill in favor of Qlash, and now finally Qlash have some sort of control. They are still behind in gems, but the gap is slowly closing down as Tensai is low HP, unable to really commit to a push just yet. But Zeta, they are hungry for this retake. They don't want to give a chance for Qlash to take back the lead.
A Choppy gets that kill, and I heard him on stage. They really like that play. Not going to be able to repeat it as he jumps to his doom, but here comes Chatampo. Pow, pow. The kill is good. The countdown starts, and that is a lot of separation. Chatampo can even go down here because it's 11 on Tensai all the way up top. Do they have the response?
All right, there's no way to get anywhere close to taking Tensai down. That's Zeta back with another game, and that makes Set here as they take gem grab. What a performance from them, keeping their cool as well after that initial set loss.
I love looking at Chatampo here. The man in the shadows, got the long hair, fitted hat low, as we say in New York. You know, just like, listen, man, I'm gonna do my thing. Stay out of my purview right now. I gotta go to work, as they would say. And so I like the attitude, man. I'm being wooed by this A Division team, but you drove it home from the beginning. This gem grab, this is their house.
Yeah, this is the mode they needed to win, and they did so. That is definitely going to be huge. A bit of a face-to-face here between Lena and Tensai. The Bell matchup slightly in favor of Lena, and yet it was on the lanes where everything happened, especially Tempo able to absolutely outperform on that Meg, constantly causing trouble in enemy lines.
Yeah, you know, it was just the ability to push forward, basically be a wall that moved forward, and just, you had the minecart and the mech. You had to worry about both on either side, but we'll push forward, and we're headed to nuts and bolts here. Siege time. How you feel about this one?
Yeah, this is a bit of an interesting one because Qlash, this was from far their worst mode when they started the year. This and Hot Zone, but bit by bit they started working on it so much because they couldn't win against SK because of it. And now this is actually one of their better modes. Their third favorite, they've performed formidably well so far on it, and this is a good chance for them to maybe take back that lead.
I love to see it. 2-0 one way, 2-0 the next way. The pendulum of competition swings, and it swings hard. Siege Mortis alert! Lena here on the right side. Gotta watch out for that, and Chitapo has to watch out for that. He's the first casualty of war. Left side Frank takes down a Choppy. We have the Frank v. Frank matchup.
Yeah, this is a bit of an intense game already, and honestly a great shout from Lena to go for that Mortis. Perfect situation, right? You're facing a Barley, which is pretty much just free low. You're facing the Frank that is never going to be able to hit you, even less be able to hit you with a stun. So that's so much value just off the bat, and he claimed already a couple of kills to show us that.
Love to see the creativity. Again, I think one of the fun, the more fun conversations that I've had this weekend was me coming in and going, all right, guys, you know, the meta has been kind of fun. What are you expecting this weekend? And they were going, I don't know. Everything is different. We're playing against people. They're doing different things in scrims. It's all going to be a mess. And right here, this is a mess.
It certainly is. Not sure exactly what is going on besides Qlash picking up the second bot and keeping that bolt economy pumping in. Look at that, 2 bolts to 2. The advantage here for Qlash is they will get to keep control after this push, so that gives them a bit of an advantage. Already have a slight damage lead, nothing that ZETA need to worry about just yet. What they do need to worry about is this retake. This is going to be the final siege spot of this game, and ZETA need a successful mid retake.
Everything relies on this next sequence. Mortis goes gets a kill. And that's going to be a problem. iChaos here locking the doors. A Choppy can't get any movement. Chitapo falls down to Guille, and that's going to be it. ZETA needs 2 bolts, and Tensai might have been able to make it happen, but there's just not enough time. AC Milan Qlash grabbed the last bot, and with that, they'll grab game 1.
Man, I just want to point out the magnificent play from Guille we saw earlier, where basically the Surge TP'd on him, and actually Guille, instead of committing for the bolt, went back, so the TP was just useless because there was a wall between them, and he pre-fired the spot of the TP, so he died when he landed back from his super. That was a beautiful play for what was normally just an unwinnable situation for that fight. The game didn't rely on it, but just superb mechanics and just brains from Guille VGX.
You love to see it. You love to see the small stuff. It's absolutely what you have to sweat here on the big stage. Chowing down, always eating, as we see more fun from the Brawl house. But let's reflect on that game 1 as we see Chitapo just head in the game as always. This was all ACMQ.
Yeah, this was so strong and dominant from them. They've gone such a long way this year on this mode, and definitely their work paying off here against ZETA Division. And this is important because getting that second set in the bag, that gets you really dangerously close from winning the match. And I mean, look at the Frank diff.
Yeah, 0 kills here for a Choppy. You know what I'm taking from this is Chaos says he's number 2. And I see number 1 on the other side, that's all I'm saying. But at the moment, AC Milan Qlash do have the lead. We're tied at 1%, but they are up 1 game in our Siege set. We'll jump in here, number 2, Chaos blowing some kisses. And this time around, we'll see a much different composition from ZETA. And I think I like it. Mortis on the other side. So a little bit of aggression, fire, fight, fire.
Yeah, and there is a Sprout on Qlash that's going to be hard. I love the Gil. I think it's such a creative pick here as well to just keep Lina at bay, knock him back, whether it's with the gadget or the super. He does pick up the kill and gets the double bats as well. Beautiful play from Lina, but still Qlash have to focus up on this defense. Gonna take a long time, and that leaves some time for ZETA's players to just come back and hold on to that center control.
Favorite usage of Sprout here. Just make the bot walk back and forth forever. Still a fair amount of damage, 7% done by ZETA Division there. So the fact that they got anything, I think, was impressive because AC Milan Qlash were just doing such a good job of playing gatekeeper. So to even sneak in a little bit was pretty cool.
So far, they're dancing around Ikeos' shots. He's known as possibly the best Sprout in the world, and they have dodged every single shot in the last couple of seconds. It's absolutely surreal how strong the dodging skills from ZETA are. Yet another bot coming through. I think Ikeos may have run out of gadgets now, so they most certainly need this next bot and need to try to take down the bot as fast as possible. Now only 50 seconds left on the clock, and ZETA are looking good in this game.
Completely different story from game number 1. Barley's able to sneak on in there and toss the super overboard, almost halfway done with the Ike. And the last siege on the way. ZETA Division trailing now in bolts. AC Milan Qlash can win this one, and the kill on a Mortis is a good start. 2 bolts picked up by a Choppy, though. Not going to be enough. 6-level siege bot. ZETA Division at 100%. And they're able to get some extra damage. That's going to be a huge deal here as AC Milan Qlash have to get over 50% in one push.
Yeah, and look at the Gale. The Gale is just going to gadget their way out. No one is there to deal damage. Gia gets swept out of existence by Tempo, and this is going to be ZETA with a game in the bag. Finally, both teams are contesting the same set, and look at that, we got some Lina fans in the Brawl Lounge.
Love to see the love here, but listen, this guy right here, a Choppy, he's the one, they give him the weird picks, he's able to dig deep and bop hard, and, you know, sorry folks, we have the best seat in the house. I can just turn around and see the guys. A Choppy is beaming. This guy has all the confidence in the world. Doesn't matter that he lost set 1. Doesn't matter that he lost the game 1 here in Siege. Watching him out here, like I said, playing the weird stuff, man, and he is happy to do so. That is a scary look if I'm AC Milan Qlash.
Yeah, and that's the thing with ZETA Division, right? They have a bit more of a split roles than more traditional Brawl Stars teams. I mean, the Mortis diff here is kind of insane. Tempo, this is the point I was coming to. He's been the hard carry so far, whether it was yesterday or today. He's been playing out of his mind. And here, Mortis diffing Lina, that is quite something. What a performance from him.
Long hair, don't care, man. This is, like I said, he's just fun to watch. I love the vibe. Just like I said, lights out, man, blinders on. All he's looking at is the game. Very, very cool approach to what's going on here. Listen, you guys across the way can make all the noise you want. I don't hear you. I don't see you. I just have my 2 teammates and the win column in mind. Rubber match here for our Siege set. And the buzz shows up. One of my favorite brawlers these days, but I like the idea to just go right back and run it back with the comp, Gale and everything.
Mortis is huge in this matchup, I think. He only needs to dodge Lina. The rest is just free shots, free supers, free kills, and the value can be enormous. Lina goes down, does get his super, so can just come in strong as soon as they defend this one off, but the damage is coming through, and ZETA are finding a lot of value, and that Gil gadget is absolutely huge once more, keeping Lina at bay, and that's exactly what ZETA have been doing since the beginning of this match.
Poor Chaos. Shatampo just dancing around him. Sure. Lina shows up and gets not just 1, but 2 kills. And that might open the midfield for the blue team here. Zeta Division 3 to Blues 5. And that's going to be a siege bot. Level 5 here for AC Milan Qlash. 56% remaining on their Ike. They got to do one better.
Yeah, despite the start being so good for Zeta in this game, AC Milan Qlash are not in too bad a spot. Obviously, it's going to be hard to deal a lot of damage with those Gale gadgets. Should still be about one available, I think, for a Chappie. Should be keeping it in case they need to defend the final bot. But this is decent economy-wise for Qlash to go for it. Nice, low HP though. This is going to be a huge problem because he can't fully commit. Is going to be very scary for the least. Zeta Division getting some great kills, and this should be game as they get the double kill, get full-on control, and I don't see how they can be stopped.
Me neither. A Choppy is out here just barking. I think I even saw him yell at the other team a little bit there. Like, they are feeling themselves right now, and this is just for fun. We know that Zeta Division is taking this game and this set. They're already celebrating as they honestly make mincemeat out of AC Milan Qlash. This was all about the composition. Once they figured out how to win, all they needed to do was enter the lobby, and it was game set. Not match yet, but game and set. And see, we got Zeta Division fans out there as well. Shouts to the Aphelion boys there, repping the East Asia region.
Man, they just reverse swept that siege set out of AC Milan Qlash's hands. It looked so good for Qlash in the first game, but game 2, game 3 certainly were dominant from Zeta. And I think the Gale pick was so huge, such an underrated brawler, and Zeta reminding us how underrated he is.
Exactly, chef's kiss. Not more than just a hot zone pick for sure. Gale, the old man, can get it done. And very impressive stuff again, because that's the thing, the creativity here, not just from the team to be able to go ahead and select it, you have to have it in your brawler pool, don't forget. With a weird selection like that, you're not exactly always practicing it. You know, this is the situation where you go, does anyone play Gale? Like, can you actually do it? And a Choppy, like I said, all smiles, ready to jump in, very happily able to go for it. Bounty, next on the docket, dry season, here it is. This is a real classic bounty map. Open, spread out, real quintessential Brawl Stars.
Yeah, the thing is, we do see a bit more of the newer meta here as well, going for those tanks, maybe a Poco in the mix as well, even triple tank. Those are all options, you know, the Buzzers, the Mortis, those guys can just move into the mix and find so much value. A lot of Zeta fans actually in the lounge. We do have Bounty starting now, as so far it seems like Zeta are in a better spot to contest for that blue star, but not overcommitting, playing it safe. They know that with those lollipop drops, it can be very, very scary, as you never know the exact location of your opponents.
Right here, you know, the two big brawlers that I'm looking at, Guillet's selection in the tick, and then the Gene across the way. Similar to what I was saying before about Sprout changes the rules of the game, Gene does the same thing. When you see that super circle around him, you have to play differently, and I think that's just so impactful. The threat of activation is just so completely different when Gene has a super and is within range. So right now, composition-wise, I like what Zeta's leading with.
Yeah, I completely agree with your point. You know, Gene is one of those brawlers where just having the super available creates value because it creates space for your team. Your opponents are going to be scared. The lollipop drops are slowly running out. Eventually, we shouldn't have any left, and it's not going to be available anymore for either side. But both teams are playing it so safe. Zeta still have the blue star lead, and Qlash, they are hungry for a kill, but they have no opportunities to get anything just yet.
And this is where the reservation of Zeta Division can pay off. They are totally fine to play a passive game. We've seen a lot of rambunctious bounty matches this weekend, but this is that old school bounty that I'm used to. Just 2 kills, maybe, if you're lucky. And this is where teams feel that fire. 10 seconds remaining it's up to AC Milan Qlash to step forward. They try, and they get beaten down. They try again, and they get beaten down for the third time. 3 kills in total, all of them on ZD's side.
My goodness, match point coming up for ZETA Division. So many pros were terrified of facing this team, and they are being proven right so far. Now, if there is a team that we can never just call them out, it has to be AQM, right?
Sure.
They've shown time and time again that they can pull off those comebacks, but they're starting to be really quiet, man, and that is not like them. The confidence needs to come back, and that needs to happen next game, otherwise it's the end.
And that is the face of confidence right there on the flip side. Again, you called him the hard carry earlier, and these numbers, listen, damage per second, like we said, there were only 3 kills over the entire boundary match, so it was looking low, but it wasn't. It was impactful. The damage happened when it needed to. 1 kill, 0 deaths, and Shatampo has been so incredibly impressive. Watching him just do his thing, nobody's able to shake this guy, and it's a big part of why ZETA Division have found themselves 1 game away from the semifinals.
This is huge. I can't even call it an upset because we knew that those teams were so closely matched, but so far ZETA has been better and absolutely deserved to be in this position. Qlash, pressure is up. They want to take this one, but a lot of space created by Shatampo on the left-hand side. And so far, Qlash, they just accept it. They're falling back, giving away that blue star.
And that's not what we saw from this team earlier on in the set. And so we can talk all we want about how the players look like in real life and what they're saying, what they're doing. But when you see it on the battlefield, that's where it's an issue. Nice step forward from Lana. I'll be honest, Lana seems like the only one with juice left inside of him. That's the guy that needs to lead this team to victory should they find it.
Absolutely so. So far, it's not looking too great though for Qlash. ZETA Division 3 stars lead. And Qlash, they were quiet, they looked scared. That's not something we've seen of them this year. But they still stand a chance here with the last 40 seconds of this game. It's not over until the clock is down to 0 seconds. And there's still 30 seconds to go.
Shatampo here on the right side, biding his time. Again, passive play coming out from the ZETA Division. They have 3 stars. There is no reason for them to leave their side of the map. The onus is on AC Milan Qlash to make a move. 9 seconds left. Players being cornered, but Shatampo cuts down Chaos, and that's gonna be it. Lana falls as well. 8-2. ZETA Division headed to semifinals.
GG for that, as ZETA Division are moving forward and up the bracket. What a performance from them. They looked incredible, ice cold against Qlash.
Man, I love this too. We see Tensai and Achapi both like looking at the camera. Even after a win, Shatampo, no man. I gotta worry about semifinals.
Not having any of that.
No. On to the next one. On to the next one. Clock in, clock out. Much love to AC Milan Qlash as they will head home. But again, making it to quarterfinals. 1, we'll talk money. That is a big jump. And 2, you made it to Championship Sunday. I think that allows you to walk with your head up high. And don't forget, their performance on Brawl Ball was insane. Gem Grab was fun to watch. I think that's where we saw ZETA Division kind of step forward and find themselves just a little bit.
Yeah, this was quite a journey for them this year. Of course, sad to see them leave, but ZETA, man, they are impressive. I've been hearing more and more pros coming into, this week saying they look so good in the scrims. We've never seen anyone play like them mechanically. No one is even close to them, and they are showing that off. But not just that, also just strategically great comms, great decisions, and taking risks. Who plays Gil in Siege?
Right?
No one does. That is exactly why we love ZETA.
Listen, man, I hate to say I told y'all, but I told y'all, man. I have been sitting here since ZETA was called Jupiter going, that team numero uno. I love the way this team plays. The creativity is off the charts. They look good, and at the end of the day, The W's are in their column. They are the ones performing. They are the ones going on to the semifinals in an impressive way there.
Man, it wasn't just a win, right? It was a top-class win. They played out of their minds, shocked the world once more, and man, I can't believe it, but they're just so good and are looking amazing. And yeah, my man Stetempo Wiz, the MVP, and I don't think we can agree more than that, right? He got the MVP yesterday as well, I believe.
Yep.
They look so strong, man.
Don't forget, you get points just for putting in your vote on event.brawlstars.com. And just a side note, we got the pronunciation from the guys themselves. So
yeah.
In case you're making fun of us in chat, we asked them proper to make sure we nail it here for Zeta Division, because they've been nailing it in-game. It's the least we can do to show respect to the hard carry himself, as you correctly called.
Yeah, man, they played incredible. They really did, and they're just such a complete team. So many teams, you know, there's that one-dimensional aspect that makes them predictable. They are excelling at everything so far.